This week, well, technically last week because it's now Monday, but last week, yesterday, overall the week wasn't too good nor too bad. It was just okay. There was some very exciting and somewhat scary decisions to make in the business to really move it forward to really get it to that next level. And any decisions in your online business, it can be really scary and whatnot, but yeah. And overall, with my YouTube channel, just sharing my journey, really trying to have a big impact. I put a lot of time and effort into there too. I saw a lot of growth. I saw a lot of things I was very grateful to see. So overall, not bad of a week, like I say. Is it a week that I'm proud of? Not necessarily. Some decisions I did, some things I did I am very proud of. But is it overall week I'm proud of? No. Is it how I want my future weeks to look like? No, not at all. So yeah, so overall, it was okay. So I made sure to put some very important questions into my notes that I'm just going to answer right on the spot just about this week, and just really lets you get more context and just how this week's went and overall anything. So yeah, what surprised me this week? The biggest thing that surprised me this week was just being able to know how much more output that you can get out of life when you decide to prioritize certain periods of your life to just work, and I mean work like literal 15 hours a day. Because with me, I've always prioritized my mind so much. That's so important to me. And I always try prioritize my physical body tons, but not in the way you think. Like, I don't do tons of diets. I don't do all these random things. I don't really watch what I eat. Like, I just drink coffee, and when I do actually eat food, it's mainly just chicken, steak, stuff like that, eggs. I'm not picky at all though. Like, I'll literally eat anything. But anyway, so I think, yeah, overall, I just prioritize my mind tons, I prioritize my body, and of course I work. And I always average out probably at least 7 to 9 hours of work a day. And in certain periods, yeah, I was working like literally 13 hours a day. But I just think what really surprised me is just being able to realize like how much further I'll get faster if I work 15 hours a day. And I think it was just really just shocking when it just kind of clicked again, because like I said, I used to work that much, and then I kind of just started to chill out. But like, especially if you can focus, because like if you can work 15 hours a day and not just sit at the desk for 15 hours straight, if you can get up and do work blocks, get up like 10 minutes after maybe working for like around an hour and 30 and do stuff that to make sure you don't get burnt out, like you were going to see extreme progress. So I think that was one thing that just surprised me this week, is just seeing how much output you can get when you work that much. Seeing how much further you can get when you work that much. And yes, it is so boring. Next question. What's the most important thing I learned this week? I think the most important thing I learned this week, someone that I've been studying tons recently, is Miyamoto Musashi. Basically, he's like a legendary samurai, the greatest one. He wrote a book in 1645 called The Book of Five Rings. So I really found out about him. So one of the just best takeaways I got from him was like ultimate like oneness mind state. He was talking about how we have our physical energy and then we have our spirit's energy, like our soul and whatnot, and kind of how like our physical energy, of course, this can be drained. Like if I get 0 hours of sleep, then I'm gonna be tired, I'm gonna be groggy, and I'm just not gonna be able to really do anything. And then there's our spirit's energy, our soul's energy, and this is kind of just like infinite energy. Fastest way to drain your spirit's energy: doing things with no purpose behind it, doing things which is of no use. I think that was just such a great lesson, just opened my eyes, because I think when you're able to make every action you take purposeful, have a why behind that action, it's like you have infinite energy. You're kind of like in this infinite flow state, and you just flow through life. But combined with so much other things, like when you do something, only do that. So like if you're going on a walk, think about the walk. If you're eating, eat. If you're working on this task, work on this task, think about this task, don't think about anything else. And that way you're kind of always at peace, you're kind of always so focused, because he was talking about the split mind. Because split mind is when you're doing this thing but your mind is over here. That's the fastest way to drain this kind of spirit energy, and it's so true. So that's what really opened my eyes, and I was so grateful to learn. So yeah, basically, do nothing which is of no use. Make every action purposeful. there's a purpose for why you're doing it, and then the output also has a purpose. And that way, you kind of always have this energy that's unexplainable. You never feel tired, you never feel groggy, and just combined with so much other things, like and removing these mental stones, like validation, living life for people's approval, trying to prove things. Like when you remove all these things that just weigh you and just drain your energy, it's just this powerful state. Number 3, what did I do this week that past me would be proud of? What did I do this week that past me would be proud of? I'll be totally honest with that question. I don't think there's anything that I did this week different than the other weeks that I should be necessarily proud about. I'm not going to just try to find some random thing and be proud of it. I don't think there's some like big major thing I'm thinking about that like I'm super proud of. Like I said, there was a couple big decisions and whatnot, and like yes, I'm very proud of that. But overall, on that question, not really much to take from that. Number 4, what's something I reminded myself that I'm proud of? Taking nightly reflections. I don't every night, but it's just, taking a nightly reflection. And the reason why is just because a nightly reflection just does so much things to you, does so much great things for you. And I think I just realized that so much other great minds also did nightly reflections, and I just do it by chance. So I think that's just something very proud of, to just take nightly reflections. And I just think it's so important to be able to be aware of just so much new things and just learn so much new things and just kind of always naturally grow. And you always get a lot of good ideas too. Number 5, what am I carrying into next week? I think the most important thing I took from this week that I'm definitely carrying into next week is that very important lesson from Miyamoto Musashi. It just is such a great lesson, and just being able to kind of always focus on what's in front of you and this only. Never have a split mind. Make every single action purposeful. Every action. If you seek validation, just ask yourself, what is the purpose? There is no purpose. You're just trying to seek approval. What's the reason why? But if you're trying to do this action, what's the purpose? Why are you doing it? And what are you going to gain from this that matters so much? Just kind of this oneness mind, never having split mind. Because I feel like even if you are so extremely self-aware, there is some things that maybe you won't catch, or that just take longer to catch. So but overall, that's just a lot of context on this week, and those were just 6 very important questions to ask myself. But so definitely carrying that to next week. But so I think number 5, what I'm carrying into this week, I think is just so very important, with never having a split mind, always being focused on what's in front of you, and making every action purposeful. So important. So but overall, that is my reflection on last week. So overall, good, not too bad, but I just learned tons of very important things, and I'm very grateful. So overall, last week, it was pretty good, but we're going to do so much better this week. I hope you can take something very great from this video, maybe the lesson from Miyamoto Musashi, and just maybe some very important questions. I'll see you on the next video.